Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang, welcome, and a very good afternoon to our panel of speakers and all the attendees to our fourth webinar organized by Oxford Fajar, that is the Oxford University Press Malaysia, and the Malaysian English Language Teaching Association, MELTA. So first of all, I would like to thank all of you, for taking your time off just to be here today on Friday afternoon. I'm Anita Muhammad from Oxford Fajar. Okay, for those who have been here, thank you for making it back. And for those who are here for the first time, welcome to our webinar series. Okay, this webinar series is a collaboration between Oxford Fajar and MELTA, where we bring to you experts and classroom practitioners in the field of education to discuss topics relevant to teachers and educators, especially during this movement control order period. For this webinar 4, Oxford Fajar and OUP, we would like to thank the MELTA Publication Bureau for inviting and securing the panel of speakers from ELTC, as well as the moderator for this session. So let's get started, okay? And I'm going to share you my slide. Okay. The title of this webinar is Enhancing English Language Teacher Quality Through Professional Development. Okay, before we start, we will email you the webinar is certified, and then you will receive your e-certificate within 7 working days. Okay, and we will send you via email. Okay, this webinar is recorded, so you can access the recorded sessions, okay, and you can get the links through Oxford Fajar or MELTA's website or our Facebook pages. Thirdly, we have all these functions in the webinar, the Q&A. So if you have any present questions that you want to pose to the panelists and also the host or the moderator, please put it in the Q&A, all right? The polls, I'm going to launch the poll in a few seconds, and please answer the questions in the poll. It's the last, if you've been in our webinar before, you know what the questions are already. And last but not least, the chat. So feel free, to share your views in the chat column. Stop sharing. So I'm gonna launch the poll now. All right, so okay, please take a few seconds to answer the poll. All right, so without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Ramesh Nair, the president of MELTA, who is an associate professor at the Academy of Language Studies, University Technology Mara in Shah Alam, Malaysia, to say a few words. So over to you, Dr. Ramesh, and have a great session, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anita. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Webinar 4. I think Webinar 4 signals the midway point for our webinar series, which ends at the end of this month. I'd like to first record my appreciation to Oxford Fajar for collaborating with us. We decided to embark on this webinar series because of COVID-19 and the need to reach out to our members as well as teachers in particular. But I think this whole experience has been a blessing in the sense that I find that we're able to reach a lot more teachers through this webinar series. If you look at the numbers now, we have over 400 participants with us today, and that's really amazing. So thank you all for your continued support. Do look out for future webinars which are planned for this month. I'd like to, on behalf of MELTA, also thank the English Language Teaching Center of the Ministry of Education. Puan Farah, I don't know whether she's with us today in the group, but I'd like to thank Puan Farah for her support. Also thank Dr. Kalminda Puan Diana and Puan Audrey for making the time, because it's not just about appearing here today. They've had to spend time in preparing for this webinar, and we really appreciate the time that they've given for this session. And there's been so much interest in teacher professional development for obvious reasons, and I think it's going to be an engaging session. So I'm going to just leave it at that and pass the session over to Dr. Prema, who is Malta's Director of Publications. So I'd like to also thank the Publications Bureau for supporting this webinar. Over to you, Dr. Prema.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for finding time to be here for our fourth webinar on embracing the path for borderless education, with the topic on enhancing English language teacher quality through professional development, specifically organized by Oxford Fajar and Malta. So today we are honestly privileged to have three distinguished panel discussants to unpack the topic. I'm sure you have many questions that are running in your minds right now. So let me start by introducing to you our first speaker. She's none other than Dr. Kalminda Kaur, the Deputy Director of ELTC, Ministry of Education Malaysia. Dr. Mindy received her PhD, Master's and Bachelor degrees from UKM. Her research interest is in the area of critical literacy, teaching and learning. She was the Chief Editor of the ESL Practitioner Journal, which is a journal of the English Language Teaching Centre until 2018. Next, we have Puan Audrey Lim Bee Yok, Head of Department for ELT Pedagogy in ELTC, Ministry of Education Malaysia. She has more than 16 years of experience and accomplishment as an English teacher, the Head of English Language Panel and Departmental Head of Languages. Audrey serves as the Head of Department in ELTC since 2011. And finally, we have Puan Diana Fatima binti Sahani, Head of Department for Language and Literacy, ELTC, Ministry of Education Malaysia. She entered the teaching profession in June 1991 as an English teacher in Johor Bahru. Before joining ELTC, she was the District English Support Teacher of Johor Bahru, the Head of the English and Literature Unit of the Curriculum Development Division, and the Senior Teacher for Languages at a secondary school in Putrajaya. So today we have three beautiful ladies who will be talking to us a lot, and giving us a lot of knowledge, all right, about the topic. So before we start the session, I have a few housekeeping items to cover about the webinar session. So we love to hear from you during today's presentation. So if you have any question for any one of our speakers, please feel free to send it through the Q&A session. There's a tab that you can see, which is found at the bottom of your screen. All right. Second, for those who are present today, I can see a lot of questions on this. You will also receive an e-certificate from us. And if you miss anything, not to worry, the recording of the session will be made available for all. All right. So we will also have a short break during the presentation, and I will try my level best to actually post your questions during the break and at the end of the presentation. Okay, so without any further ado, I'd like to invite our first discussant, Dr. Mindy. Please, welcome.
Thank you, Prema. First, let me take this opportunity to thank Oxford Fajar and Malta for this wonderful opportunity to be part of the Oxford Fajar Malta webinar series. And I believe that this is it's a great platform for all of us to share on some of the efforts that are being done by the Ministry of Education Malaysia to strengthen teacher professional development in order to enhance teacher quality. I would like to wish a very good afternoon and I would like to welcome each and every one of you who is following this seminar. And I hope that by the end of the seminar, we will all gain some insights into what we mean by teacher quality and how important is it that teachers continue to develop professionally in order to improve quality. We will all agree that teacher quality matters. Children spend most of their time in the schools with teachers. We'll agree on that too. And the teachers definitely are the foundation upon which effective schools and student achievements are built. I would like to share some slides at this point here. So I'm going to put up these slides. Yeah. Okay. I think, are they being shared now? Yeah, are they shared now? Okay, all right, excellent. So let me just give you some input on the background leading to teacher professional development in Malaysia and specifically for Malaysian teachers. Now I'll go to the first slide. In 2013, the Ministry of Education Malaysia introduced the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013-2025.
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Mindy, but
Yeah.
maybe you want to show the full screen?
The full screen,
Okay,
please.
I put this slideshow, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Um, okay, all right. Is that better? Okay, excellent. Now, I would like to focus on shift 4. There are 11 shifts in the MEB. I think all teachers know this very well. I hope you do. Okay, now shift 4 of the Malaysia Education Blueprint focuses very much on raising teacher quality and transforming teaching into the profession of choice. When we say profession of choice, it simply means that this is the profession that I would want to enter as a teacher, and this is where I would want to serve effectively and with much quality, right, for the rest of my career days. That is what it means if you're taking teaching as a profession of your choice. So there's so much that goes behind that understanding. Now, the Ministry of Education Malaysia in Shift 4 aspires to upgrade the quality of continuous teacher professional development, where they would like to focus on the core functions of teaching and finally to develop a peer-led culture of professional excellence among teachers. And in order to do this, a number of measures have been taken which are described in the blueprint to raise teacher quality, and among this includes the first one is upgrading the continuous professional development courses, workshops that are provided to teachers, which is the focus of what we are doing today. Now, in 2015, the Ministry of Education Malaysia introduced the English language roadmap, the one that you see on the screen in green. Now that's the document. Now the English language roadmap is part of the implementation of the Malaysia Education Blueprint, and the aim of this roadmap is to further enhance measures as well as initiatives that are taken to improve the professional development of teachers. This particular roadmap is a 10-year transformation plan, and it aims to raise the quality of the English language teachers in Malaysia to international standards. Many professional development courses have and are being carried out by the MOE to ensure that teachers receive the best professional development opportunities and support to achieve and to develop their full potential. And one of the key agencies that plays a major role in implementing teacher professional development courses for all the 48,000 over in-service teachers in Malaysia is the English Language Teaching Centre, Ministry of Education Malaysia. Hence, we are here with you today. Yeah. So my colleague Dina will share later, yeah, and in more detail on the functions as well as the courses that are being offered by the ELTC. Now, let me go to the next slide. A little bit more about the background, yeah, to teacher professional development. In wave 1, there are 3 waves of transformation that are in the MOB that describe how the MOE plans to strengthen teacher quality as well as to provide effective teacher professional development to our teachers out there. Now, in wave 1 of the MEB, the professional development agenda for teacher emphasizes on supporting teachers and focusing or strengthening core skills among teachers in terms of their professional development. And many measures have been taken by the MOE in order to achieve the aspirations set out in wave 1 of the MEB. Firstly, right, was the introduction of the internationally recognized standards for describing English language ability of English language teachers in Malaysia, based on the CEFR. I'm sure each and every one of you out there would have heard about the CEFR. You know what are the standards that have been set for teachers, and specifically for teachers, the standards that are set is C1. Okay, that means you are a C1 language user on the CEFR, and for teacher educators, it is a C2. Now, through the second initiative or effort put in by the MOE in Wave 1 was the implementation of the English language roadmap, through which aspirational targets were set for teachers, and not only for teachers but also for students through every level of education, starting from preschool right up to university. And these standards were set based on a baseline study that was conducted in collaboration by the Cambridge English as well as the Ministry of Education, Malaysia. And after these two were put in place, these two key documents were put in place, there were a number of professional development courses that were tailored and put in practice to the needs and to the requirements of teachers. And some of these, I'm sure you would have heard, include a Pro ELT, which is still going on. Pondaina will further delve into the Pro ELT and what it is all about. There were differentiated instructions. Yeah, there was also the English language upskilling program in schools for teachers and many more. Teachers were also supported by a team of coaches. I'm sure you have also heard of this, the SISC Plus, School Improvement Specialist Coaches. Now these are coaches who mentored, they're still there, who mentored teachers in effective lesson planning, classroom delivery, as well as student assessment. There were also programs put in place for non-option teachers. Going back to the Wave 1, it was then called the Certificate of Practice in English Language Teaching, CPELT, which today is called PITO, P-I-T-O, yeah, PITO TESOL. Once again, my colleague Diana will bring you, walk you through this program as well. So a number of programs were put in place, and Wave 1 saw the MOE supporting teachers and are focusing on trying to strengthen core skills. Right. Now Wave 2. Wave 2 focuses on improving the delivery of professional development of teachers. So what are we doing in Wave 2? We have continued all our efforts from Wave 1. Then at the same time, what is new or what has been developed in this last 2 or 3 years as a result of the collaboration with Cambridge English and views from stakeholders, from teachers, as well as the community out there, the MOE is currently developing a CPD framework for English language teachers. So if you see the slide, you will find that this particular CPD framework consists of 8 domains. Teacher proficiency domain, a teaching and learning domain, knowing the learner, assessment, managing resources, teacher development and values, curriculum, and managing co-curricular activities using English as the medium of instruction. So this particular CPD framework, it provides a professional development training plan, and this plan can be personalized to teachers. When I say personalized, it means that teachers can now go onto this framework, select a domain that they need to develop for themselves, select it according to their interest, and select it according to where their motivation lies. All right. Now going across all these 8 domains are 4 tiers: foundation, developing, proficient, and expert. So a teacher can see where to place himself or herself. Now me, having so many years of experience, I might want to place myself, I don't want to say I'm a foundation teacher. That will be someone who's very new into the system. or someone who is there for some time but does not know, let's say, the domain of assessment. My knowledge in assessment may be at a foundation level. So I would want to, my need would be, I want to know more about assessment. So I would click onto the domain of assessment and see what is available on this CPD plan for me to choose under foundation. Someone who has been doing assessment for a very long time may say that I think I'm proficient. So, you know, the teachers get to also place themselves. When you go into the CPD framework, you also have a set of self-assessment that you can do in order to identify where you are. So this wonderful CPD framework is already in place currently, but it is still in the process of being strengthened, and more courses are being offered. Now, this particular CPD framework is going to be parked or going to be uploaded onto a portal called the Improve. All right, Improve is a portal on a website. Yeah, the full name of the Improve is Integrated Micro Learning Program with Robust Virtual Experience. In short, we call it Improve. Yeah. So teachers can access Improve from the ELTC website. If you see this slide, you'll find that I've given a screenshot of the homepage of ELTC. So you are welcome to ELTC, and then when you go to courses, click on courses, and the second link is Improve. That is something new that is being developed. So we put it there as a category of new. So when you click on Improve, you will go into Improve and you will view a lot of things, including courses that you can choose. Now, if you follow courses through the Improve portal, you can view your achievement. You can explore a number of micro courses that are already running and many more that are going to come. We are also inviting external agencies in time to come to park their courses onto this portal. So meaning that in time to come, someone like Oxford Fajar can park a training course here and teachers can access this course. The training will be conducted by Oxford Fajar. At the same time, teachers are following the course through this portal. So what is good about this is, besides earning a certificate from Fajar, participants who have gone through this professional development hours through the Improve portal can also record their learning hours in SPL KPM. So they earn their professional development hours under the e-pembelajaran. So that is what is very special about this particular CPD framework that we are offering. And other than that, in wave 2, we are enhancing and also strengthening courses that were provided under the CEFR. Under the CEFR, lots of courses were given to teachers to familiarize themselves with the framework, to familiarize themselves with the curriculum which is CFR aligned, and also to provide them courses on CFR based assessment. Yeah, so lots of things are going on in wave 2, and we hope that teachers are going to be with us to develop and to improve yourself, because your professional development certainly is going to equate to the quality that you are going to carry for yourself and also into the classroom. That's very important. Now let me move on to the next one. Now here is what is going on, and moving on to wave 3. Yeah, wave 3 of the Malaysia Education Blueprint, which will start from 2021, moving on to 2025. The whole Malaysia Education Blueprint covers a spectrum of 13 years, started in 2013, going on to 2025. So here, the focus of wave 3 would be to cultivate a peer-led culture of professional development. So the key question here is, for everyone out there, what do we understand by peer-led culture of professional development? Now, when we say peer-led, we have done a lot of training. Teachers have attended a lot of training sessions. Most of the training sessions, they are either centralized or they are PLC, but the teacher takes home something and then the teacher implements whatever application and knowledge that she has received in the classroom. This is still very individual. Okay, when we say a peer-led culture, we are looking at something far bigger than this. In a peer-led culture of professional development, the focus is not just on the individual development of the teacher, but it is also on those around the teacher. If you feel you have improved as a teacher, if you feel you have developed as a teacher, you need to ask yourself a second question. Are those around me also developed? Are they also developing the way in which I am? Because teachers cannot function as individuals. It is a community of practice. You need to ensure that your colleagues, that your partners, that the teachers working with you within your school are also experiencing the development. So when you talk about a peer-led culture of professional development, it's not just individual professional learning, but collectively it is the professional development of everyone who is associated to you. So what we're looking at here then is the social capital of everyone. The social capital of teachers. That means it's not just one, but everyone has to develop. So the responsibility of educating a child is not just the responsibility of teacher A. If it is classroom A, it is not only the responsibility of teacher A to overcome the issues of student A from classroom A. A teacher from classroom B should also be equally interested and take the effort to help student A from classroom A and not say that that's your student, you care for your students and I care for my students. That is not how professional development goes. The aspiration that the ministry is trying to put forward is that if we want to develop, we need to develop as a group. We need to develop collectively. For English language teachers, this has major implications. You know, we're talking about professional development, but we need to develop together. The ministry is there to assist, but the teachers need to move together as a whole group, right? So social capital, I would say, is the cornerstone of professional development. And I would like to refer to key proponents of professional development who have written so many books, Andy Hargreaves and Michael Fullan. I am very sure teachers out there, you would have heard these names. And if these names are new to you, then I would recommend that you pick up books or writings by these people. They are so available on the websites. Please go and read on these people. Their notion of professional development is what the third wave of the Malaysia education blueprint is also aspiring to achieve. Yeah. So essentially, when we talk about a peer-led culture of professional development, it is collective learning, collective application. PLCs, professional learning communities, right? Lesson studies. You go into lesson studies and you share with one another. Shared beliefs. It should not be I believe what I believe and you believe what you believe. We need to share the belief. We need to share the vision and the mission of the Ministry of Education Malaysia in order to advance. We need to have shared practices. Whatever you are practicing, share it with me. You know, sometimes we find that even I, as a teacher, at one point when I was a teacher in schools, I was very afraid to share what I did in classroom with the other teacher next door because I thought maybe, am I doing the right thing or am I not doing the right thing? These questions come to our mind. So we rather do it within our classroom, but we need to now in these times, all right, at a time where Malaysia needs to upgrade the English language proficiency of everyone, we need to share practices, we need to support one another. And what is key to all this is supportive leadership. So if there are principals, if there are school heads out there listening or following this webinar, the call is that the leaders have to take on a very, very critical role. All right, as leaders, you can bring the teachers together, you can bring the groups together, you can motivate them, you can ensure that such kind of sharing takes place. Be the general reader and be the instructional leader for your teachers. And there has to be supportive conditions. This goes to everyone. Supportive conditions socially is teacher to teacher, All right, school leader to teacher and the MOE will also work very hard to provide added supportive conditions. Now, if you read into the highest performing education systems such as Finland, South Korea, near to us, Singapore, these people, they have transformed their teaching professions. We are all always saying follow Finland, right? Follow South Korea, follow these high performing education systems. This is what they are doing. In Finland, the number of hours that teachers spend on collective professional development is amazing. It's amazing. They spend more time sharing, building, discussing their lessons and their professional development than they spend the time working alone and working with their students on their own. And that is how they have moved forward. Yeah. So it is very important that we open up our minds and we open up our our efforts to doing what professional development means in terms of leading peer-led culture of professional development. So I think with this, I would like to pass the webinar over to my colleague, Diana, so that she can then carry on with what I have just shared with all of you. I hope that you will think about what I've shared because I think it is time that each and every one of us sit down and think what exactly is it that I want in terms of professional development. These questions are coming to us every day. What do we want to do with professional development? How do we want to move with professional development? Where should professional development lead me as a teacher? So these are the questions that I think we will all want to reflect on. So, okay, thank you. And over to Diana, my colleague. Thank you. All right.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Mindy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Diana from ELTC. Before we begin, I would just like to say thank you to Oxford Fajar and Melta for having us here today. I would also like to say a special thank you to some friends who are here watching us. We've got Dashini, all the way from England, I think. Pena from Kota Kinabalu, Mohana from Perak, and Shujin, an old friend, and Amy, a student. So welcome. I hope you gain a lot of knowledge and information from what we're gonna have for you today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for me, I would like to share with you about the English Language Teaching Center. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the English Language Teaching Center of the Ministry of Education, whose mission is to impact ELT practices through research, quality training, and classroom innovation, and whose vision is to be a leading provider of ELT training in the region, plays a vital role in ensuring that English language teachers constantly develop new competencies and enhance their existing language skills. For this, ELTC is actively involved in effective and meaningful professional development so that the quality of English language teachers meets the standards and demands of what we need for the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the English Language Teaching Center began in 2005. It has 7 primary functions pertaining to coaching and mentoring, training, research, and providing expertise in the teaching and learning of the English language in the country. So the 7 primary functions are to provide effective and innovative training in research-driven best practices for the teaching and learning of English, to conduct research to develop innovative, context-appropriate techniques and materials for the teaching and learning of English, to provide consultancy services to support and promote ELT development locally and regionally, to develop and prescribe standards for the continuing professional development of ELT practitioners, to coordinate the Ministry of Education's initiatives related to the teaching and learning of English. Number 6, to provide recommendations and solutions to issues related to the teaching and learning of English, and to establish professional networks and international linkages for the sharing of expertise and best practices in the teaching of learning of English. Ladies and gentlemen, these are but the primary functions of ELTC. In the years following its establishment, ELTC's functions have expanded to include offering English language support courses to maths and science teachers who are teaching the subjects using English as the instructional language. And this is in answer to Mr. Kok Cheng Lee's question just now concerning content subjects. Yeah. ELTC also offers English proficiency and workplace functional skills courses to officers and administrative support staff of the Ministry of Education who do not have an English language background. So we offer English proficiency courses, ladies and gentlemen, to the receptionists, the clerks, yeah, of the Ministry of Education. And this was expanded starting last year to not only include personnel of the Ministry of Education, but also to other governmental bodies. Going into ELTC courses, ELTC offers numerous courses and programs that are aimed to enhance and improve the professional knowledge, competencies and skills of our English language teachers. The ProELT, or Professional Upskilling of English Language Teachers, as Dr. Mindy mentioned just now, is one such program which was specifically developed to increase the proficiency level of English option teachers to achieve a minimum CFR level of C1. This initiative started in 2013 and has 6 course modules for teachers to complete. To date, approximately 19,000 English language teachers have undergone this professional development program nationwide. To add to this, ladies and gentlemen, ELTC also offers 6 mini courses on the flipped classroom, the use of Padlet in the teaching and learning of English in the classroom, and grammar vocabulary. Yes. Likewise, for non-optionist English language teachers, another program, which is the PITO TESOL, or Program Intervensi Tambah Option for the teaching of English as a second language, has been developed specifically to not only enhance the English proficiency of English language teachers who are non-optionists and also who have a degree, but also to provide them with knowledge of English linguistics and equip them with the professional know-how for teaching English to both primary and secondary school students. So PITO TESOL, ladies and gentlemen, is not only for primary school teachers, it has been expanded to also include secondary teachers as well, secondary school teachers as well, with the prerequisite of them having a degree, yeah, first degree. This program is made up of 9 course modules for teachers to complete, ranging from linguistics to language accuracy, to the 4 language skills, to literature. The postgraduate certificate that is awarded upon completion and fulfillment of the requirements of the program offers an extra subject option to the teachers and is undoubtedly an added value to their teaching career. So PITO TESOL, ladies and gentlemen, is tambah option, meaning to say that it's not tukar option, it's tambah option, which is an added value. Yeah? Okay, besides the PITO TESOL, ELTC also offers English for preschool teachers to improve the proficiency level of preschool teachers in the country. This program is carried out in 3 phases. The program comprises of 3 courses: English language proficiency, instructional language, and English language teaching methodology. Besides these courses for building the teacher's language and competencies, ELTC also offers a professional development course for the KSSM English Literature elective subject for upper secondary. So I think some of you here have attended this course. For those of you who haven't, this course, which is for English teachers, focuses on effective and applicable 21st century learning strategies for teaching English literature in the Malaysian classroom. For this course, 29 21st century learning strategies that address the vast and varied learning needs of students are presented and imparted in 3 genres of literature, which are poetry, prose, and drama. As I've mentioned before this, ELTC also offers English proficiency and workplace functional skill courses to officers and administrative support staff of the Ministry of Education who do not have an English language background. This course is named the English at the Workplace for Professionals in Education, or EPT. This course is not only offered to personnel of the Ministry of Education, but also to other governmental bodies. In order to further develop teachers' professional competencies and skills, the latest courses for professional development are the CEFR online courses, which will be rolled out and offered to English language teachers very soon. These 2 courses, ladies and gentlemen, which are the CFR familiarization and the CFR curriculum induction, are aimed to enhance and improve teachers' understanding of the CFR 6-point scale for describing language ability and the English language CFR aligned curriculum so that they are able to better plan and execute CFR aligned lessons for effective teaching and learning of English language in the classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, besides these professional development programs and courses, ELTC is also the lead agency for English language initiatives in the country. Besides ProELT, these initiatives are the highly immersive program whose aims are to create a rich English learning environment in schools, to increase contact time for English language use, and to strengthen the command of the English language among students. And under this initiative, we have about, I think all the schools in Malaysia have already undertaken this program. Next is the Dual Language Program, or DLP, where 2 modes of training are made available to maths and science teachers, which are the DLP Online English Support course and the DLP Language Awareness English Support course, which uses a face-to-face training mode. So we've got the online and we've got the language awareness, which is face-to-face. Then there is the PPK-BIS initiative, which focuses on student outcomes in hotspot schools through professional development programs involving school improvement specialist coaches, or the SISC Plus, and English language teachers. Needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to providing effective and meaningful professional development, ELTC is well and truly at the forefront and will continue to support and enhance the professional development of English language teachers through effective and meaningful CPD. With that, thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mindy and Puan Diana. Okay, there are a few questions here. But first of all, I would like to ask Dr. Mindy.
Yeah.
All right, a very interesting question from Subhashini. Right? Okay. She said, when we talk about teacher professional development, we tend to be more focused on developing and upgrading their skills in terms of career development and pedagogical skills. So to what extent has the teacher professional development support teacher well-being? I thought that was a very good question. And more specifically, a teacher's mental well-being, which I think is a pivotal but neglected element in the professional development of teachers.
Okay. Thank you, Prema. And hi, Subhashini. I think you have brought up some very pertinent domains of teacher professional development. That is teacher well-being as well as teacher mental professional development. Yeah, your how you view your career and things like that. Yes, I would like to share here that the MOE has been doing many engagements, not only within those who are in the MOE, but we have been reaching out to agencies. And a few months back, we reached out to certain agencies that are offering, courses, and also they would like to engage with teachers through MOE and ELTC on issues like how do teachers feel, the emotional aspects of teachers when they are asked to make changes in schools, right? When teachers are given, okay, there's another new program coming, okay, run it in schools. How do teachers exactly feel? I think what you have brought up is very important. And in our courses, the MOE is very cognizant of this, very aware of this, and we are trying to address this. All right, where right now what we are doing is we are looking at teacher needs, teacher wants, teacher interest, and teacher motivations. So the courses are not going to be coming from top down. They are going to be generated from what teachers really want. The CPD framework that I was talking about is one way. All right. And on that portal, if you go in time to come, right now we have just started, so you'll find that many of the courses are content-based courses, but we are getting agencies who we are negotiating with, who are coming on board, and who are going to put courses that are more general, more generic, that talk about the well-being of teachers, that talks about how teachers feel and what is there in the career of a teacher and things like that. So it is in the pipeline, Subhashini, and we are aware that these are things that should now take place. It's professional development should not only be content-based. That is why I mentioned just now, we need to look into the social capital. When I talk about the social capital, I'm talking about, are teachers committed? Are they happy? Are their conditions happy? That's why we talk about supportive conditions. And as we move into the MEB and we move towards wave 3 of the MEB, these are the things that the MOE is now looking into put in place. So we hope, let's work together, yeah, and let's hope that we are able to achieve, because these aspirations did not go unseen. The MEB has actually captured your concerns way before when it was being developed, but it is part of wave 3, and slowly but surely I believe that we are going to address these areas, the well-being of teachers and all. At the same time, we are trying to empower PPDs, JPN, and teachers at the grassroots, so we are able to hear their voices. Yeah, so MOE does engagement with agencies that can carry the voices of teachers. Your unions, and maybe you have dialogue sessions. ELTC is one body that always engages in dialogues and sharing. Yeah, we have done that a few times, and that is how we are moving forward with our what we offer in terms of professional development. If you have been following some of our key initiatives, I would like to refer here to the highly immersive program. This year, that program is all about dialogue sessions. We have had dialogue with the PPD people. We have been having dialogue with school leaders. We have been having dialogues with teachers. And it is through these dialogues that we know that there are a lot of gaps that we need to complete or to cover in order to ensure that that particular program runs effectively in school. We are getting to know that, look, there are so many gaps, because the programs come with some guidelines, but are we meeting the guidelines? Through the voices of the teachers and through engagement via dialogues, we are able to know these things. And it is also through these dialogues that we look into what is in the mind of the teachers. What are the teachers really thinking about? Yeah. So we hope that we will get your cooperation on this. We want you to be with us so we can also be with you, and we want to hear from you. Now, the MOE, I speak on behalf of the MOE. The MOE is open and do want to hear from the teachers. And that includes your well-being. That includes how teachers want their career to develop. So as we go, we are strengthening, we are improving, and we are trying to go to that peer-led culture. Peer-led culture meaning it's coming from you. It is you who help us pave the pathways for development and quality. So that is what we would like everyone to understand and come on board, when it comes to the efforts being done by the MOE. So I hope that Subhashini, I'm able to give you some insights, to what you have asked, and that what I've shared with you gives you an understanding of what we are trying to do from the side of the MOE and also to the teachers, because we believe that the ground, the core where you are is really very important, and even the courses that we are going to run, we are going to ensure that they are developed from the ground, and it basically serves back the needs that the teachers want in schools. Yeah, so it's going to be more um, the autonomy, the empowerment, and the decentralization processes are taking place through our district transformation plans. Okay, so there are steps in place, but I believe that change is going to take time. We want the teachers to see the change, and we are trying to put the change. When I say we, I'm meaning the entire MOE, and to emphasize again that when the entire MOE is mentioned, meaning that you as a teacher are a major part of that system. All right. Okay, Prema, thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Mindy. There's
Okay.
one more question, Dr. Mindy, if you
Yeah.
don't mind
Yes,
answering.
yes.
You actually clearly elaborated on wave 1 and wave 2
Okay.
of the transformation, right? Okay, now you also brought in about pro-ELT. Okay, so to what extent did all this actually achieve, the outcome of the whole transformation? What happened, especially like teachers who actually went through pro-ELT? Was there any increase, improvement in their proficiency, something like that? So if you would like to elaborate on that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Prema. Yeah. Pro-ELT is one of the courses that was set up, and it started in 2012 in fact, when the MEB first started. Yeah, Pro-ELT has gone through a number of phases. I think we are in a phase 9 or phase 10, because it started with the British Council, then there were other agencies, and then it went to the MOE. But the message that I would like to put across, firstly, I would like to say that we are improving. Slowly but surely, teachers are now improving in terms of where they are with pro-ELT. Those teachers who have been trained, and even those teachers who are not being trained, we are already seeing them coming online and taking the initiative to engage themselves in language-based courses. But at the end, I would like everyone to see pro-ELT as a professional development of self. We do not want to force teachers. We want teachers to see it, from their perspective. Seeing it from your perspective, teachers need to develop, right? You need to develop every now and then. If you do not take the effort or the initiative to move on, all right, you know where you are. I know where I am, but I want more. So if I want more, I will take the effort. I will go through what has to be gone through. I will engage in courses. I'll engage in all sorts of professional development to be where I want. I guess the question when it comes to pro-ELT and teachers saying that we are required to achieve a certain level, to me, you need to see it as, where do I want to be as a language user? Where do I want to be as a person who says that I am a person who is a proficient user of the language? So I take the effort and I take the initiative to make my way to where I want. All right, it may take me a year, it may take 2 years, it may take 3 years, but I want to develop. When it comes to Pro ELT, I think that is the mindset that teachers should take on. When you are asked, are you attending the Pro ELT? The Pro ELT basically is a course to get teachers to look back and think about where they are in terms of your ability as a language user. I'm looking at it as ability as a language user, all right? Because Pro ELT derives whatever standards from the Common European framework, and the Common European framework describes a language user. All right, it describes a language user. So it'll be good if you see it as that I'm a language user here, and in time to come, I aspire to be a language user at a higher level. So what do I need to do in order for me to be there, and why? Why do I want to do this? Why should I even do this? It is more for the benefit of yourself and the students. If
Okay.
you are, if you're good, if you feel you're good, you will be able to give your best to your students, right? Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Mindy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I will read the rest of the questions towards the end.
Okay.
So right now, I would like to welcome Puan Audrey. Okay. To continue.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Prema. Good afternoon, everyone. I take this opportunity to thank Oxford Fajar and Melta, first of all, for having ELTC to share with all of you on the current practices, and also probably from all of you, the best practices that are on the ground. And I'm here to touch on a topic that's very close to all our hearts as ELT practitioners, educators, and teachers, which is pedagogy. We talked about so much about the changes that are taking place, and one of the greatest changes and reform that is happening are the pedagogical changes around us, especially in the English language teaching. Dr. Mindy, maybe let me share a slide with you on the initiative that the Ministry of Education has put in place for everyone in Malaysia, especially, to actually have the same synergy in ensuring that we are all moving towards the 21st century learning. And being the third panelist, I had the opportunity to look at some of the questions that were posed by the attendees today. And I want to thank you for the question. And one of the questions that was posed was on the SDG agenda, the Sustainable Development Goal. And I believe that Malaysia is very much moving towards the sustainable SDG, whereby when we look at goal 4, that is quality education and promoting lifelong learning. So MOE's initiative, which is the 21st century learning, or very much known as Pembelajaran Abad ke-21, or acronym, I think all of us know it as PAK21. And this initiative focuses on student-centered learning processes. And the conventional way of teaching, it's basically the teacher as the knowledge holder and the student as the recipient of the knowledge. Things have changed, times have changed, and basically what is happening right now is that the students' needs are now placed as a priority, especially because they will be the future participants in the international arena, whether in the workplace, in the economic field, in the political field. So these are the elements that the MOE has put forward together with the initiative of PAK21, which is steered by 5 elements of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, values, and ethics. So in short, 4C and 1V. Another intriguing thing that came up from the discussion just now, and especially the question that was posed about values. The same values that we would like to actually infuse or inculcate in our students would be the same values that teachers would like to engage in when we are involved in what we call the peer-led culture that Dr. Mindy presented much earlier. We don't work alone anymore. And when we work together, how do we collaborate? How do we cooperate? What are the soft skills that we need? And all that are encapsulated in what we call communication. How do we convey our ideas? A famous saying, no man is an island. So teachers sometimes we feel alone. We think we are the only ones facing the same problems with our students. And then we look across the fence and say, how I wish I'm in the school next door, which may be a top school. And here I am in a school where I'm challenging students. But students are students. And if we look at SDG 4, just to answer to the questions that were, streaming as the presentation was going on about SDG, is that we have to look at the potential of every child and every student. So therefore, when we talk about 21st century learning, which leads us to having to have the pedagogy that is very much student-centered. So the student-centeredness pedagogy basically would be the type of practices that teachers, first of all, should actually have as part of their practices as well, right? First of all, the communication, how do you convey ideas? Secondly, collaboration. How do you work with others? That leads us to the peer-led culture that Dr. Mindy was talking about very much earlier, and the community of practice. So this community of practice, as in wave 2 and wave 3 of the Malaysian Education Blueprint, whereby we would like teachers to actually work together in their own environment so that they can impact and empower the students in that environment. I have been given a lot of opportunity to work on MOE initiatives. I see some of the participants here today. Ms. Ang, you were with me on one of the very, how should I put it? I would say a radical approach to pedagogy, whereby we would like to ensure that students are able to communicate, whether they are the best students or the weaker students. Because once you build that communication ability and the skills, and also that confidence in that child, they are then able to collaborate with others. Language is needed in every aspect to help a person to be able to communicate. And before we can actually get them to collaborate, they need to understand the synergy of how they use language. So that is all part of the pedagogy of a teacher when they go into the classroom and when they teach. And at the same time, when we get students to collaborate, we need to get them to think. Because students of the 21st century, they are going to be facing a lot of challenges in the future. So as teachers, what we can do is that we prepare them. And under the PAK, very much spoken about element, it's the HOTS, the higher order thinking skills, whereby students are engaged in a lot of programs and pedagogical approaches that helps them and build their ability through probably areas like discovery learning, experiential learning, inquiry learning, learning how to learn. I think these are all not new aspects, but with the PAK 21, teachers need to empower the students, get the students to be more autonomous learners and to be self-directed learners. And how better to do it than to get the students to take charge of their learning. Teachers' role in the 21st century learning, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, we are now facilitators. We bring the same kind of knowledge in the classroom as the students. And being a very, very senior teacher, I've been in school for many years, I find that I have a lot to learn from my students as well. They are young, they're the Z generation. They have a lot of knowledge that they gain from the digital world. With the upsurge of digital technologies, I think I'm far behind compared to my students way back even in the late 1990s and year 2000. And before I even joined the MOE, I was with the schools and I realized that there's a lot that I need to learn from the students as well. They also bring something to the classroom. So as teachers, one of the pedagogy aspect that we must have is actually to be able to engage with the students, to make them a partner in our teaching and learning, to build that confidence in them. And that is the value that we are talking about. And about teachers as well. When we bring that confidence to the students, we also have that confidence in knowing that what we are doing, and especially when we see in the students' outcomes, we are also confident knowing that our practices empowers that student. And what works for one student may not work for the other student, but the elements of the pedagogy is still the same. That means the critical thinking, helping students to find solutions to problems, simple, daily, everyday life situations. by using language. Unless students have the vocabulary, the language to communicate, they will feel that they are stifled. They are not able to. So one of the aspects of 21st century learning is that the need for language, the need for students to have the vocabulary to communicate and to express themselves. And I've done some research and looking through the research that's done on language. If students have the 30,000 most commonly used words, they're actually able to function very effectively. Yeah, so there was one question on research as to what is being done in the education system to help the students. So there are lots of research being done even by our own teachers. And talking about the next C, which is creativity, I just want to applaud and commend all the teachers, because it is just so impressive to see throughout these 2-3 months where many of us have migrated to online approach or digital approach to reaching out to our students. I think none of our teachers lack creativity. Creativity, it's all out there, and I've seen teachers, I've even joined some of your webinars, and they are very impressive. They are simple, some are very simple practices, but very, very applicable. And thinking out of the box is actually very, very close to us. It is the ability to just get students to think about what they can do from something near to their heart before you bring them far off from where they should be. Most of the time when we talk about student outcomes, we want them to reach the end before they even come to the middle or even the starting point. So we may have some students that may be stifled because of their language. That is when this peer learning among students is also a way to get students to work together. I have one, I'm looking at one question here about the stigma and the bullying. This is where the teacher comes in, which leads me right back to the fifth element, which is the 1V, the values and the ethics. The values and the ethics are what teachers can bring into the classroom, because students come from varied backgrounds. Sometimes we may know in detail what their backgrounds are, but their backgrounds should not determine who they will be in the future. What they are today, you can change them. If you help them to manage the change, give them the confidence, give them the knowledge and the skills. And that's when I feel that teachers are at the pinnacle of the transformation of the Malaysian education system, because nothing can happen. We may have the best education policies, but we do rely on teachers to implement these policies in the classroom. So teachers, the quality of a school system can never exceed the quality of its teachers. And teachers are actually at the frontliners. I will call them the frontliners, or delivering knowledge for students to build their confidence, to build their aspirations. Teachers are the ones in the forefront to inspire the students, whether the students are very smart students or very weak students. I never believe in very weak, very smart students. I believe that students, all of them come with their own capacity. So it's the teachers who actually inspire the students to move forward with whatever they have and build their potential. So I believe very much so in teachers and the ability of the teachers. Like Dr. Mindy said, it's a choice profession. You have chosen the profession because your heart is there to actually make this change. And this change will be lifelong for the students. And that's what SDG is all about. Promoting education to ourselves first. That means we need to develop through the teacher development program, choose whatever courses that were mentioned earlier by Puan Diana that best suits you for the time, where you need and what you need now. You may not be able to go through all the courses at one go, but what is it that you need now? Like for me, I think what I really need now are some ICT skills. So what I do is that even in ELTC, we have our own community where I go to my ICT personnel and say, Encik Roshni, can you help me? Or Encik Sofian, can you help me? Can you show me? I even learn from my younger lecturers. where they guide me and they teach me certain things that I do not know. So I believe that all of us have something to learn from someone. And when it comes to students, they look up to teachers. I don't know, I am a mother, and I have seen how my son always says, the teacher is right, Mom. The teacher is right. So I believe teachers, your impact is great. Your ability to inspire and motivate students with just a positive word like, you are good, you can do it. That change lives. That can change lives. So I would like to just once again encourage teachers that we may be very senior teachers in the education system, but I believe we are all lifelong learners. And I believe we all want the best for our students. And the 3 A's that I would like to leave with you before I end my speech here, some of them are saying, a good speech, Madam Audrey. Okay, before I end my speech here, is that there are 3 A's that we need to think about. And I think these 3 A's will impact our lives and our students' lives, and especially our professional development. When we develop, we will feel that we are relevant. When we go into the classroom, there's always something new that we are bringing into the classroom. And the first A is adopt, meaning whatever the teachers have within you right now, all the teachers out there, the 507 of you are listening to me, all of you already have the capacity. Adopt that capacity and adapt it to the changes that are happening around you. ICT should not scare us. ICT should be something that will move us forward and mobilize us so that we can impact the lives of the students. And thirdly, to apply everything that I hope you have learned from us, from our first panelist, Dr. Mindy, who talked about a peer-led culture, and to have professional development as a vital element and a key in our lives, and also to look at the causes that ELTC has to offer to actually help you. And also in the same way as you attend our courses are infused with the 21st century learning approaches. And we believe that we do encourage teachers also to actually engage with us when we are running our courses. So teachers, with that, I just want to leave you with one saying that the heart of education is actually the heart itself. And with that, I would just like to end with this last slide as to why we are doing all this. We are doing all this because of the students. The future are in the hands of the students. And if you look at the slide before, I told Dr. Mindy, I must have the hand in gold. If you can move to the slide before, Dr. Mindy, the one, because these 5 elements are in your hands, teachers, the 4 C's and 1 V. It's your golden hand that's going to change the lives of these students. Your hands will touch these students, your hands will guide these students, and your hands will hold the students. And your hands will also be the hands that will encourage the students. So with that, I'll end with the last slide. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it tells the whole story about why we are here today in this webinar, and why the 3 of us are here to share with you because of our heart for this education and our heart for this change. And we hope that with this session, you are all touched with the golden hand of these 4 C's and 1 V of values and ethics to touch the lives of your students. So with that, I will end my story here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Back to you, Dr. Prema.
Thank you very much, Puan Audrey. Okay, I will look at a few questions if the panelists could answer. There's one from Hamza who asks, how do the authorities ensure that teachers are ready for these changes? So any thoughts on this?
Okay, maybe I will, I'm very much into Fulan, where he talks about leaders. So for change to happen, it cannot be just one person. I think I've seen many posts here that change cannot happen with one person. I think Dr. Mindy also reiterated just now when she was answering the question, the first question. Change, it must come from everyone. So the change is not top down. The change is actually bottom up, beginning with the individual in the school, in the community, with the peers, with the students. So change will not take place overnight. Change is something that will happen as you move with the flow, meaning you have to select what change do you need first. Do I need professional development first? Or do I need, for example, there are different elements of emotional, intellectual, yeah? So which one do you need first? Do you need to manage change like the fear? Okay, I just give a very simple one, ICT. Is it the fear of ICT? Maybe I don't know it. Then that change probably, the school needs to also assist the teachers through the leaders and the middle managers. Change needs a pool of people to work together in synergy to see the goals and the aims. So I believe that change is not comfortable, but change is constant in our lives. When you embrace the change, that will make a change in our lives.
Okay.
I think I want
Thank
to
you.
add, I would like to add to what Audrey says, talking about change, the change must start with the mindset. Okay, until we cannot convince our mindset that I need to make the change, it is not going to be easy because we are doing things on a routine pace, yeah. And when someone is required to change something, it upsets your routine. But if you do not upset your routine, you're not going to be moving forward, yeah. So first and foremost, myself and everyone, we need to change the way we view things. If there are things that we did not like, maybe we need to ask ourselves, why do I not like this thing? Is it because it's questioning me back? Or is it that it's showing me that I have a gap here? And if I have a gap here, am I brave enough to make myself take the step to change and to close that gap? So everything starts with the mindset, because challenges are there. The most important thing is, can I do anything to overcome the challenge? All right, difficulties are there, hurdles are there, but we need to overcome the hurdles one step at a time. So it's all in the mindset. To add on to Audrey's sharing just now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, there are many, many questions on Pro ELT. I will just condense them. So a few questions that I asked would be like this. What happened to teachers who actually do not achieve C1 or C2 band? Would there be a follow-up program for these teachers? And another question would be, or is it a requirement for all teachers to sit for this test?
Okay, I think Prema, I will take on those two questions. So the first one, should a teacher not achieve the standard that is aspired for an English language teacher set by the ministry? Yes, there are follow-ups. To give you a clear example, recently there was a number of teachers who sat for the CEFR readiness, yeah, and some teachers achieved. Congratulations to those of you who achieved. And then there are some teachers who need to do a little bit more, and follow-up courses support is being given. In the sense that at ELTC here, we were able to identify that of the main skills that were being tested, reading and writing are skills where teachers found difficulty in showing a relatively satisfactory performance. So right now at ELTC, we are developing specific courses to support teachers enhance and upskill their reading and writing skills. Okay, that is one. And two, I believe that once the teachers have followed this course, they will be able to resit and show a better performance. Yeah, so yes, there are follow-ups. That is one. And it is not about what will happen. What I think teachers need to do is continue to improve themselves, right? Continue to improve yourselves. Concentrate on what can I do to meet. Standards are always there, no matter whichever system we refer to. Standards are always there. It is how long does it take for a person, how many hours of investment should a teacher put in on your own. Don't just look at others, but look at yourself. How much of effort do I need to put in order to raise myself to where the standards would like me to be? Perhaps that would be one way to look at where teachers are. There is no time frame at the moment, but what we are looking at is we have a blueprint, and the aspired time frame in the blueprint is that, you know, by 2025 we have an education system that is effective, that is of high quality, that can be an example at international stage and standards. So let us all work towards that goal. We have a goal. Now we need to work towards that goal. All right, slowly but steadily. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thank you. There's one more question coming in from Stanley. Many teachers in Malaysia are still not accustomed to peer-led culture of professional excellence.
Yes.
So what can be done to make this peer-led culture something plain sailing for teachers?
Okay. All right. One of the key aspects or key underpinnings in a peer-led culture is trust. Okay. First and foremost, teachers, we need to trust one another. Sometimes we find that, and this is also based on my own experiences as well as feedback that we receive, teachers may find it difficult to share. All right, we always share good and best practices, but when something does not work, we may not want to share. The epitome and the cornerstone of peer-led culture is that I know that my friend can help me and that I should open myself up to this. So first and foremost, build trust with one another. Number two, be willing to share. Do not keep anything away, because knowledge grows as you share. All right, share with one another, ask one another, inquire with one another, and engage with people who you may not have even wanted to ask questions to. This is how we build the essence of a peer-led culture. Because when you talk about peer-led, we're talking about the nearest person around you first, and then the circle grows and grows and grows. All right. So the elements that underpin all this are commitment, trust, willingness, openness, a positive mindset, right? Be ready to accept feedback in a positive way. These are things that I think I also learned over time. At one point, we are people who don't want to accept any feedback because we think what we do is right. Our beliefs are very strongly ingrained in us. So we say, I think I'm right, I cannot be wrong. But as time goes, and if you keep your mind open, you'll realize that when I show my work to others, they actually show me how to get it done better. See, so the trust must be there, that I'm opening my work up to you. I'm opening myself and my skills, my capacity and ability to my friends, because my friends may have something to add, and in that way I get better. But the element of trust and support for one another must be there. It should not be only for me, but for us. So move from me to us, move from the individual to the collective growth, and that is the way to build the peer culture. The support system will come from those which are outside to us, like the PPDs, the JPN, the MOE. That is the external support system. Build your internal support system first through all these domains.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mindy. I think we don't have time for more questions. All right. So the organizer would actually like to thank our wonderful panel discussants who have shared tremendous knowledge, which we will take with us. So for your information, Oxford Fajar and Melta are organizing a series of webinars on topics related to education. Do check them out and mark them down in your calendar. So now over to you, Anita.
Okay, I think Dr. Ramesh, why don't you take over first before you pass it to me?
Yes, thank you, Anita. We anticipated this. When we were planning for this particular webinar, we anticipated that time would be a challenge because we knew there were going to be many questions. And I see there were 27 questions in the Q&A box. and it's going to take us a long time to respond to those questions. But I believe Dr. Mindy and Puan Audrey and Puan Diana will be looking at these questions carefully, and perhaps ELTC will think of ways on how to respond to these questions, in time. So I'd like to thank everyone for making the time, for joining us today. I think for me, the main message that has come across that I remember, that I will remember well, is the point that professional development is not just about teachers attending courses and being instructed to attend courses, but teachers really essentially looking at ways of how they can take charge of their professional development and be the generators of knowledge themselves. Because yes, there's a need to gain new knowledge from others, but you also are in possession of so much knowledge. And at Melta, we're always looking at ways of how we can also support the CPD of teachers in collaboration with the LTC. So once again, on behalf of Melta, I'd like to thank Dr. Mindy, Puan Audrey, and Puan Diana for their time. And thank you all for joining us. And look out for the next webinar scheduled for next week. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. So on behalf of Oxford Fajar, I would like to say thank you, Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Prema, for moderating this session, and to our panel of speakers, Dr. Mindy, Madam Audrey, and Puan Diana from ELTC for such, I would say, it's really such a valuable sharing that you have, information that you have shared with all of us. I believe that everyone here has gained some insights on how ELTC plays an important role in professional development for the Malaysian teachers. Before I end my session, let me once again share my slides. Okay. All right. Okay. Once again, for those who are latecomers, we will send you the certificate of participation, the e-cert, within 7 working days. And the session has been recorded, so we will share the link with everyone in our follow-up email tomorrow with you. Oh, thank you email. Okay, and then we will also share the links in Fajar and Melta's website and Facebook pages. For feedback, okay, if you have your phone now, you can scan this code and then please answer the survey after this, or you can wait until tomorrow once we send you the survey in the survey link in the thank you email from us. Okay. And last but not least, for those who would like to register for the upcoming webinars, as I mentioned last time, please put in your full legal name as it will appear in your e-certificate. Okay. Last but not least, this is today. Okay, we also have one more. We have a few more coming up. Webinar 5 for those who have registered. Thank you. For those who have not, we still have a few places available. Okay, it's on Word-saurus, engaging students. Okay, we have webinar 6, webinar 7. Last but not least, we have webinar 8, which is on Moet. Okay. You can check all that out in our Facebook and also website for Oxford Fajar and Melta over here. So don't worry if you don't, if you want to have access to the slides, the pages, and all that. You can have a look at it in the recording that we will share with you later tomorrow. Let me stop sharing now. Okay, so basically that's it for today. I know time is not on our side. It's exactly 4 o'clock. All right, and we thank you for everyone who's been here. We have made it, we have 501 attendees. That is beyond expectation. And I've been getting a lot of email coming in as we are talking, people complaining to me that they cannot get in the room. So you guys are very, very lucky to be here. All right, and once again, thank you to all the panelists and also the attendees for making it here. We hope that this will not be the last from Oxford Fajar Melta. Okay, once again, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening, everyone.
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.